Darn Squirrels. Written by Adam Rubin, illustrated by Daniel Salmeri. Daniel Salmeri. Those darn squirrels. On the outskirts of town, at the edge of the forest, there was a little old house. The only thing older than the little old house was the man who lived inside it. Old Man Fuchswire. Old Man Fuchswire was so old that when he sneezed, dust came out. He was also a grump. He hated pie. He hated puppies. The only thing he liked was birds. All summer long, the old man painted pictures of the birds that visited his backyard. There were whirlybirds and bonga birds, baba birds and yabba birds. Even a rare flugelbird came by once or twice. Fuchswire's paintings weren't very good, but the birds never said anything. When the air turned crisp and the leaves began to change color, the old man grew sad. He knew that soon the birds would fly south for the winter, as they did every year, and that he would be lonely. Then he had an idea. If he fed the birds, maybe they would stick around. So Old Man Fuchswire built beautiful bird feeders and put them all around his backyard. He filled the feeders with delicious seeds and berries, and soon the birds came from all over the forest just to eat in the old man's yard. But the birds weren't the only ones who liked the bird feeders. The squirrels did too. Not many people know this, but squirrels are the cleverest of all the woodland creatures. In fact, they're fuzzy little geniuses. They can make a house out of a tree, a bed out of a bunch of leaves, and a box kite out of twigs, dirt, and squirrel spit. They are also excellent at math. Winter was fast approaching, and the squirrels needed to gather as much food as they could to get ready. So they decided to take some of the bird food. The birds were not happy. Neither was Old Man Fuchswire. When he discovered what had happened, he shook his old man fist and yelled, "Those darn squirrels!" He filled up the feeders again, but this time he hung them from a clothesline. Then he went back inside, confident that the squirrels would no longer be able to get the seeds and berries. But the squirrels were determined. They devised a plan, and this time they took all the food from the bird feeders. The birds were furious. "Huh, huh, huh," yelled a bonga bird. "Those darn squirrels!" yelled Old Man Fuchswire. "Yum," said the squirrels. Now it was Old Man Fuchswire's turn to devise a plan. He went to the general store to get supplies. He bought lasers and clamps. He bought wires and springs. He bought all sorts of tools and built a veritable fortress all around his bird feeders. Then he refilled them very carefully. "Na, na, 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 na," snorted the flugelbird. The squirrels stayed up all night working on their strategy. They drank cherry cola and ate salt and vinegar chips to help them stay awake. Finally, they had it. The perfect plan. They put on their tiny helmets and prepared to launch themselves into the air, over the fence, between the lasers, and onto the bird feeders.
How did the bird feeders?
Oh, the first squirrel misfired and hit a tree. The second squirrel went too high and landed in a bucket. The third squirrel sailed clear over the house. The birds laughed and laughed. Then they had one last delicious mouthful of seeds and berries from the old man's feeders, and they flew south for the winter, just as they did every year. Said the flugelbird. After the birds left, old man Footwire was lonely, just as he was every year. He fixed himself some cottage cheese and pepper, his favorite snack. But he was still lonely. When he looked out the window, the squirrels could tell that he was not happy.
Go away!
Yelled the old man.
I don't like you, squirrels!
Squirrel meeting tonight. The squirrels held a meeting deep inside a large tree. They decided to give the old man a present to make up for taking the seeds and berries. Now, not many people know this, but squirrels are not only fuzzy little geniuses, they also collect just about anything they find on the ground. These squirrels had a vast stockpile of spectacular junk to choose from. But what would Footwire like? Bottle caps? Popsicle sticks? Postage stamps? Finally they had it. The perfect gift. The squirrels stacked all of their loose change on old man Footwire's doorstep. There were dimes and pennies. There were nickels and quarters. There were even a few tokens from Coco's arcade. It added up to about $47.36, plus a few rounds of skee-ball.
Maybe you squirrels aren't so bad,
Footwire said when he found the coins.
but I still like birds better.
This gave the squirrels another idea. They raided their junk collection again and got to work. When old man Footwire woke up the next morning, he was amazed to see that the birds had returned. But wait! Those things weren't birds. They were squirrels in disguise.
Great googly moogly!
Said old man Footwire. This will make quite a painting. He ran outside and took down the lasers and wires and spring-loaded trapeze. He turned all the bird feeders into squirrel feeders. Then he painted until his brush ran out of bristles. The squirrels were so overjoyed they had a party in old man Footwire's house.
Those darn squirrels!
Said Footwire, and he shook his old man fist. But he smiled.